In this video, I'm going to show you how to search your website from within Google Sheets. I'm actually going to share the code with you that I used to do this. And this is actually all part of some solutions for product research. And this is actually part of a complete playlist. However, in this particular video, I am focusing on searching specifically directly on a website using code. So these other ways of searching will be covered as well in other videos. So do check the playlist to see what other videos I have made at this point. Now, first of all, let me point out the actual function I'm using to do this. The function is called search website. It is a custom function, meaning that I actually created it. You can copy all of my code here, and once you copy the code into your extensions app script, your script editor, you can also use this same function, search website. Now, as of right now, this website is meant to search only kmart.com, which you'll see in here. And you can actually add more websites to it by doing replicating the same process I did and copy and pasting this code and just adapting it for different websites. So what I'm going to do to help you do that is quickly, first of all, let me just explain this function and then I'll break down the code. So first of all, search website accepts the domain of that site, the website domain, and a keyword. In this case, kmart.com and tables. Those are the parameters. There is an optional third parameter, which would be the actual search parameters. So for a third parameter being search parameters, let me actually insert a row above and just make room for that. And I usually leave the inputs blank. For that, what you would have to do is go onto the site, in this case Kmart, perform a search, and then you would copy those. For instance, if you were searching tables and then you were to change something here, such as this, right? This becomes now the search parameters. So this would become your parameter. So you could copy this and we could put it here, and this would be a search parameter. I do want to make sure that you are aware of this. And this would be your third parameter, okay? That part that comes after the keyword. So this would literally perform that same search that was just performed here, which was a search for tables, after having typed in tables here, which you didn't actually see me do that, but I had done it before the video. And then turning on that filter, as you saw, you get the same exact search by putting those three parameters in, right? Domain, keyword, and the search parameters from the site. Okay, so that is how the function works. That is what it does. It returns these results, and just to show you, these are good links. When you click the link or any of these links, it brings you to the actual product, and you can see that's the same product that is here on the page, and you'll see all the other products are linked as well. Now, data extraction, getting data out of these, that's another thing. This video is just about extracting the product links, the search results. So now, the code. Search website, the most general function here, it takes the domain keyword and the search parameters as I just explained. It generates a URL, the search URL on the website. It grabs the HTML off of that page, that search page, and then it returns the product links from that page. That's what it does. It's able to do that using as you can see, using three other functions: search URL, fetch URL, and get links, which I'll explain. Search URL is a function that simply generates a URL. Okay, it generates, and I should have really had a comment here, generates a search URL on a website or something like that, for a website. Okay, so it just generates a website search URL. In fact, that's how I should put it. Generates a website search URL. So you have to give it the domain, keyword, and give it the parameters as and this returns the URL itself, okay, the actual URL, right? Quick example, equals search URL, and sometimes you might just want the URL, domain, keyword, and then this is optional. And you see it's going to actually literally create the actual URL, which you could actually open, and you'd get the same thing I have over here, right? So that's what that function does. It generates the actual URL. Now, then we have root URL. Root URL is used by search URL, and what this does is this actually, every time you want to add a site, you need to know what is the root without the keyword. What is the URL, the search URL, before the keyword is added? So the way you do that is you go on to the site and you just search for something, which I did tables. Well, let's say I had done shares instead, and I'll just close all these links that are forming, right? I can see clearly this is the search, and then this is the keyword at the end. So this is the root of that search URL, and that is what you copy and bring here so that it knows to always put that in front of the keywords, right? So if you want to do this for another site, you need to go on that other website, perform a search as I did on Kmart, observe where the keyword starts, take everything before that, that's your root, and put that into the code, and that's how you are able to generate the root URL, which is then used by search URL, okay? So you would need to do that. So you don't need to change anything here in search URL, but you do need, for every website, you will need to copy this same code and add it in here, okay, for the other sites. So you will take this, copy, paste it, and then change this to say whatever that other site is, right? If it's Kmart.com, and then it becomes some other site, you put that other site, right? Something like that, okay? For instance, right? And then of course you have to get the root URL. Okay, anyway, that's a lot of you can probably figure that out already if you're a coder. Now, get links, it's a bit more complicated because with get links, it's the same idea. We're going to switch the domain, check the domain, and for different cases, in this case Kmart.com. But then we have to actually know how to pull the links using regular expressions. So you have to, examine the HTML and see how those product links are stored on the web page, on the search results, and devise the regular expression for that. And then this is a loop. In this case, their links do not include the www.kmart.com, right? It does not include the actual domain, the beginning of that URL. So I actually here have to go through the links that are returned here, iterate those links, and attach this, right, the root of the URL to the beginning of each of these paths, right? I have to actually concatenate them together to form a complete link, right? So you may or may not have to do that depending on the website. Depends on if their links are complete URLs. If they're complete, then you may not need this section here in the middle. You might only need to do the regular expression, and that's it. And of course, add this break, and then that would be it. So again, just like I showed here, you'd have to copy and paste this code inside here, and then change it, modify it for that other website. And that's how you can add more websites to this, right? Yeah, so those are the two things that you have to modify if you want to add more websites to this process, if you want to be able to reuse this code for more websites. Now, fetch URL, you really don't have to touch it all, and this is just, but I want you to know what this is. In fact, you need to use this to see if you can even connect to a website. Fetch URL connects to a site, connects to a URL that you give it, and checks to see if it's getting a response rather than an error, which is what this is, response code 200. And if it does, it returns that HTML. That's what this is, right? It grabs the text content from that, and returns it to you. Otherwise, you get a null, empty response, right? This is actually important to know because not all websites can connect this way from Google Sheets. So equal fetch URL, you can type that in to check websites to see if you can even connect. Equal fetch URL target.com, for instance. And that's not even a URL. That's just a domain. Let me put a URL, www.target.com. Okay, so let's put a URL in there. And okay, now you do see an error here, but that doesn't mean it didn't work. Text, the important thing is what the error says. Text result of fetch URL is longer than the limit of 50,000 characters. This is actually a good thing. It means that a lot was returned. All the HTML from that web page was returned, all of it, and that's why it's more than 50,000 characters. Google Sheets has a limit and cannot contain 50,000 characters inside of a cell. That is why it's an error. However, the connection worked. It was able to connect and it was able to get the content, right? It worked. Okay. So we know it can connect to target.com. And I actually meant to put kmart.com in here, but I've just had target.com on my mind for whatever reason. So we know we can connect to that site, right? Whether or not we can get everything else, that's another question, but at least you know you can connect to that site. All right, if you had done this with kmart.com, you would see a similar result. I'll just do that quickly, very quickly. Then I'm gonna just I'm gonna wrap this up. What was I doing? Kmart.com. Right? Enter fetch URL. You get the same result, right? It's gonna tell you again. Text result of fetch URL is longer than 50,000 characters, so that's good, right? It means it can connect and it can grab the HTML from that page, and it's too much to fit in the cell. Okay, so great. That's basically it. So what you want to do, I mean, sure, you could copy this code technically off of the screen from the video, but why do that? I have the code provided already. Check the description of this video for a link, and keep in mind again that this is part of a bigger set of solutions that I'm pushing out that are solutions for automating product research using Google Sheets, also browser automation. And again, the 4 parts are going to be search and match and data extraction, profit calculation. It's video is part of a playlist, so there may be other videos that you can see surrounding this video within this playlist. This video was specifically searching directly on a website using code. Just that, specifically searching directly on a website using code. I have in mind e-commerce sellers doing product research. We want to be able to pull up search results instantly, lots of results, this way from a particular website into their page right away. Just a quick demo. If I change this, the keyword to chairs here, you'll see that all of the chair links come up now instead, right? So you can see the benefit of this, being able to pull this into Sheets. Another part, of course, would be the data extraction, being able to actually extract data from this stuff. I have already, I have created solutions for that. But again, it has to be extended perhaps for different sites. So, but within this playlist, the goal is to really revisit all these things and kind of summarize it in one place where you can go through and actually utilize this stuff in a more organized kind of manner. So that is what this playlist and this series is all about. So anyway, that's it. I am Mr. Mark. Check the description of the video for links and my contact information. And if anything, I look forward to hearing from you directly or seeing you around on the channel in another video.